This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
He was a giant, and he was a cowboy. Now these two former rivals have joined forces to bring you the most insightful, perceptive, and controversial sports talk podcast in America. Former Dallas Cowboys defensive end Jim Jeffcoat locks horns with former New York Giants wide receiver Byron Williams. And now, here's Byron Williams and Jim Jeffcoat.
Good evening, Byron. How are you this evening?
How you doing, Jim?
I'm very happy that you could make it. I know that all you wide receivers are divas. You wait till 50 seconds before we're supposed to be on. Then
Don't tell everybody. Don't tell everybody. But guess what was happening?
What?
I was talking to this guy from UTA. He's calling me, begging me, man, can you be on the committee to bring football back? I said, man, football didn't drop since 1985. And I said, you wasted my time. I don't even really want to waste my time no more.
Yeah.
So they're not serious about bringing it back. And I said, man, right. you have crushed my life. When people ask me about college football, I can't say I played at Arizona State.
You know I understand that.
It's really sad, man, that they don't understand the power of football.
Yeah, but you know what? I'm glad you brought that up, and we got a lot of things to cover tonight. But football has changed, Byron. It's not like when we were coming up. And I hate to say it, but Nick Saban and some of these other guys, even the head coach, Gino Ariano, the entitlement of it. They don't understand that it takes a lot of work. It was just like when we went out and did your camp in Texarkana. You know, the first year we had kids, one kid, he was in the 8th grade, and he was already getting offers.
From Penn State, yeah.
Yeah, he got offers. But the next year, he wasn't there. He got too big.
Yeah. His mind is blown. And guess what? By the time he become a senior, guess what? All them other guys going to catch up to him talent-wise, and he probably ain't going to be recognized.
And that's the thing, and that's to my next point. And you live in Dallas-Fort Worth like I do. What happened this week with Micah Parsons' brother, and then Dat's brothers, and then CeeDee Lamb's mom. This is ridiculous. But you know what? Yes.
You know what? These players got to understand. You can only be immature for so long. You get to a point to where you need to be mentored. We talked about this. If you got to be mentored and you got to be able to have some sense of team values, of not letting other people mess up your situation.
Exactly.
This team could be so divided next year. It could be all because it's starting
now
this year.
You're wondering, what is he telling my mama? What is he telling my brothers? What is he saying? And it's always this now.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be held accountable. And I always talk about that because I was having lunch with a couple of guys I played with. And we're talking about how we were accountable. When you walked in our meeting and we watched some films, if you messed up, you want to hear about it. You weren't going to pout and get mad. You want to fix it. And I think that's some of the issues with the Cowboys is they got guys that want to point to go like this, but it starts with you.
Yeah.
It starts with you.
When you point one finger, 3 fingers point back at you.
That's right. And you got to be able to say, I hold my end of the bargain. I do what I have to do to help us win.
See, one of the things too with CD, and I don't know is this true or not, but he getting ready to get a new contract this year. Man, just stay focused on your work at hand. Be the perfect, be the perfect guy, model, salesman, whatever.
Exactly.
Go and meet some kids, and then just continue to work hard. Man, he was the number one receiver in the league this year.
Yeah.
Him and Tyree Hill.
Exactly. And it was interesting that you say that because Trayvon Diggs started getting more active in the community. He had the injury this year, but reality probably set in, right? You can't
I had
do
a call. I had a call actually about him, and I kind of wanted to talk to him because they had wanted me to maybe do a football camp in Vegas with him, and I think I wanted to sit down with him and see if he'd be interested in doing some football camps here in the Dallas Metroplex, and I was gonna talk to you about this. So maybe the three of us can team up,
Yeah,
and see if we can get some stuff started.
yeah, and we need to because we're getting a different generation of kids. We were a different generation than the generation before us.
Yeah,
but we still had a lot of the same values.
yeah.
And we have to, just like you said, mentor these younger players on values, why we do this. You can make all the money in the world, but that's not going to satisfy you. What satisfies you is winning championships and having the opportunity to win championships. Because when you're our age, you're going to look back and you're going to see what you did as a team and your friends. I got this. I mean, these guys are going to be friends for our life. We're going to die being friends.
Absolutely. And you know, when we go back to the Super Bowl and we go to all these different events together, and you see your old teammates, and man, y'all you catch up, you talk about the family, where you are now, and how many kids you got, and how many grandkids you got. Man, that's so powerful, man. That just makes you feel so good.
It is powerful, and that's the thing. It is powerful because it's such a small part of your life, and unfortunately for some players, it is even a smaller part because they're no longer with us. But it's such a small, it's a big part of your life because you had the opportunity. Not everybody gets the opportunity to play at this level. If it's for 1 year or 15 years.
It's a small window. It's a very small window of opportunities out there. And whether you play 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years,
that's my point.
Putting odd numbers in there. 9 years, 11 years, of course, 16 years for you. It really sums up to it's still short-lived for us football.
Yes, because it's something, we're both in our 60s, and we play 15 years, and you play 11 and stuff like that, but you're still only in your 30s when you retire.
Absolutely.
And we were blessed enough to live long enough, another 20, 25 years. And you got to understand that. This is not a gift.
Actually, I woke up this morning thinking about putting a proposal together that we can send to all the coaches and to all the owners and say, look, there's nothing wrong with having guys to come through the locker room a couple of times a year and just so guys can get to see. But the reason why I say that is because when I go to the NFLPA meetings, and last year they set me down at a table, with the 49ers, and they set other guys with tables with reps. They got 4 reps now, players reps on every team. And you get to hear them, they get to talk to me, they get to say, oh, okay, even though my name ain't a big name, but just the respect that these guys have, and then to see some older guys walking by, I think there's something about that. It says a lot.
I agree. And that's the thing. But let's talk a little football. Last week, you were, 3-1?
Yeah, 3-1, but they, the point spread or something.
I told you that point spread junk. We don't know nothing. Now I know it, but I messed up last week.
What really remind me of? I see why Vegas making so much money. Because it's always gonna be one you wrong on point spread.
Yeah, unless you into that stuff. I'm not into that.
Ain't nobody that in depth with that, but yeah, it is. It is.
I did think that Green Bay had a chance to beat, obviously, San Francisco. And then I also thought that Buffalo had a chance to beat Kansas City until the end, to that wide right.
Guess what I thought about? The kicker is going to kick the ball to that.
He did.
I was just joking. I feel so bad for him. I just hate it, man, that you work so hard and get to the last
That's
point.
how they beat the Giants. I mean, the Giants beat them.
And you at home too, but you at home and you should know the wind direction going that way.
Yeah. Let me ask you this. I was on a show previously here on the Northeast streaming services, and they were talking about Diggs, Trayvon Diggs, not Trayvon Diggs. Stephon Diggs. And some guy, one of the people said they wouldn't have him. And I said, that's just receivers. The receivers are always going to be divas. And that's the way they are. And
you have to be.
He's not a malcontent. He just, they want the ball every play. They think they're open every play. I said, Byron Williams is a diva. He wants the ball.
And plus, I tell DB, I'm going to run right by you. Ain't nothing you can do about it.
Yeah.
You better get the cushion right. But now, you have to be that way. You have to have a cocky attitude. You have to have, a positive attitude. It's just, it really adds more. But when you talk, you better back it up. You got to be able to back it up.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I think that that's happening, because Josh Allen put that ball right there. He just needs to make a little small adjustment, but he just couldn't quite make that catch. But it was a series of different stuff that boiled down for the Bills to win and lose that game.
I agree. And Josh Allen is a very good player. Don't get me wrong. But he is in the same situation as a Dak or Prescott because they haven't got over the top. You talk about greatness, and it's not good enough really to get to the Super Bowl. You have to win Super Bowls. Jim Kelly, who I played with, was a tremendous quarterback, but he never got the credit because he went to, and I think it's phenomenal to go to 4 Super Bowls. He went against all NFC East teams, but he never won one. And he is in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. And it's the same with Dan Marino. I mean, great quarterback, top 5, legendary quarterback. And what I was going to say too, you hear people making all these comments about, teams losing, people losing, quarterbacks and stuff. But the game has changed tremendously. I mean,
it really has.
Back in the day, we were having 60 to 70 plays a game. Now they playing up to 80s and 90 plays a game. So you have a lot more opportunities, and then you have a lot more games that you have to play. So it's a whole different, like you said, it's a whole different concept of football.
Yeah, it is. It really is a different concept. And now you see these, I call them gurus that have come out, and they don't really care about the game. They care about how many points you get, how many possessions you get. They don't care about, controlling the game anymore. They don't want to slow it down. They want to speed it up.
And then they throw that word in, fantasy football.
Yeah.
Fantasy football. Now we got this player, he gonna average 20-some points, blah blah blah. And it's a whole different concept.
You're right. You're exactly right on these things that you say, and it's there. And now what I'm seeing, which is really scary, and I see this in college and the NFL, is you're seeing the coaches like what happened with Philadelphia with Brian Johnson. This was the same guy when they were 10-1 running their offense. They fired him.
Yep.
Sean Desai, I think it's Desai, how you say his name, the defensive coordinator. They were 10-1. Nobody had a problem with them. So as they started losing, they trained for Matt Patricia, who had issues in Detroit.
Yeah.
And now they're looking for Vic Fangio.
Matt Patricia ain't nothing but a tight end coach.
Yeah. But
I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Everybody can't be an offensive coordinator. Everybody can't be a head coach. I don't care just because some of these guys are doing well. Dan Quayle, he lost the Super Bowl with Atlanta. Now he's on this on the circuit being interviewed for head coaching. And then at the end, the last 2 weeks ago, his defense didn't do anything. So I'm just saying, the coaching carousel is really just up in the air to me. I mean, you
Yeah.
get what you pay for. You really do.
Hello, Rick, and yeah, Byron's going to start doing some commercials, and he's going to be on maybe the Longest Yard 3.
Hey, Rick, man, you want to do a commercial with me?
Rick going to do a commercial, but you're right about it because, yeah, and I know you. Hey, Rick, you're right though.
You want to crawl under the table?
Hey. You know you messed up. Randy White used to bring a piece of wood, and he always had me sitting next to him, and he'd be whittling the wood, would be hitting me and stuff. When he knew what he was going to mess up, and Coach Landry critiqued every position.
He was really good at that. Coach Landry was really good at
that.
that.
There's my man.
Hey, guess what, Jim? When you saying Randy White also be carving out those knives and stuff.
Yeah,
great
I have one.
He bring them down to a Bob Liddy golf tournament. He has some great things that he does with them knives.
Yeah, my man Jason's back in town.
What's up, Jay?
Yeah, Rick is, and we're talking about that. We'll get back on that, but the coaching carousel, Tennessee just got him a new coach, Brian Callahan.
Callahan from Cincinnati.
Jim Harbaugh went to the LA Chargers. He just signed with them today.
I heard that.
Yeah, but here's the interesting thing about Harbaugh. He wanted a contract with Michigan to say if they had any penalties against them from the NCAA, they couldn't take his money away. He would still get paid.
And he needs to have that in place.
Well, here's the problem with it is that he created those problems. It's just like Herm Edwards and Antonio Pierce at Arizona State. They created those problems. So shouldn't they get penalized? They did it at with Pruitt at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Shouldn't they have some of it? Now
that's why they left the university.
Huh?
That's why they had to leave the university.
Yeah, but if you get a show of cause, they're gonna say, well, you can't coach college football or for 2 or 3 years. That's not a big deal. They're in the NFL.
It's not a big deal because you know why it's not a big deal? Because you're still gonna get your salary, you're still getting your guaranteed money.
That's right. Hey, I got a quick thing for Jason and Rick. There is rumors that Kirk Cousins might go to the Chargers now that Jim Harbaugh is there, but he never start.
Man, he ain't gonna be. He can't. Unless Justin Herbert get hurt or something, he ain't gonna never hit the field.
You don't never know if that's Harbaugh's trying to. It's not a hard. Cousins probably closer to Harbaugh than what Justin Herbert is. I'm not saying it's just a rumor. I don't foresee it. I think Cousins is going back to Minnesota.
I think that's what he like. I mean, I think the coach like him still there in Minnesota. I really do.
Yeah, and I think he'll do it. You know, I just think he is what he is. He has some things he's limited in. If it gets past 5 o'clock, he's not very good. Anytime.
You have to shame yourself, Jim. I sat down with Kirk Cousins about 3 or 4 years ago at the NFL convention. Gentlemen, I wish him the best. Kurt, I need for you to bring them Vikings up.
Yeah, he does during the season, just like Jason said. Him, Dak, and a couple of them quarterbacks in there. Speaking of that, wow, this was crazy. This past week, Robert Griffin III got into it with Jay Gruden on Twitter. And they were going back and forth, and Griffin basically said, you didn't utilize me right. And you remember Griffin was Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, he had a good little rookie year.
And he said you used me the wrong way. And he said that limited my career. So Gruden comes back and basically says that, and he said it too. He said, you just wasn't good enough. Kirk Cousins was better. I'm like, wow. Then all of a sudden, Robert Griffin says, "Hey, if we got problems with each other, let's talk it out. Let's call each other and talk it out." I was like, "Wow."
Well, when John Gruden was on top of the world, and everybody, he's the greatest quarterback coach, and
Jay Gruden, not John.
Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. Well, I just think Robert Griffin. Some players are great college players, but when you get to that NFL level, it's just you got to be a complete. Be a complete player.
Yeah, and you're right about that, because that's what you're finding out is that they said this guys can't miss. Remember Tony Mandrich and guys like that, Steve Entman, they were can't miss guys, but they miss.
You know what? That's why I don't get too excited about these college football players, because
there are certain ones that I do, and I'll tell you the reason why is wide receivers, because of the advent of all these 7-on-7s and some things, the wide receivers.
You sound just like Matt.
Hey, Jack's up. Rick said you were out there swimming in Florida. How you doing,
Jack? Thanks, Jackie. Him and Matt, they was on the call earlier today. They've been talking all day.
Yeah. Matt, Jack.
Who's out there?
I don't understand that. That's over my head.
Did you talking about Kirk Cousins?
Hey, TD, how are you doing?
Yeah.
But out there better than Kirk Cousins? There's a couple quarterbacks, but I think he'll help Minnesota win.
But I'm gonna say this right now. I did say CD Stroud was the best quarterback coming out the draft last year. And I'm telling you now, it's a lot of quarterbacks out there coming in this draft that gonna be able to help some teams. But right now, I got my reservation on a couple of them, because some of them ain't quite ready.
Jack, he's not going there. He's going to stay in Minnesota. It's just he wants to go to Hollywood. He wants to be a Hollywood star. I wouldn't say that, Rick. That's a good point you make, but he was better than Richardson.
Who?
RG3.
RG ain't better than Richardson.
He was better than Richardson.
I'm telling you, Richardson was.
RG3 was the rookie of the year.
I don't care, but he ain't better than Richardson.
Yeah, he was better.
Watch what happened when Richardson get healthy.
Ooh, TD going to Aspen. She going skiing.
Go ahead then, TD.
There you go with your bad self.
Shoot, got me twisting my hat on that.
Woo! Going down them slopes.
I tell you what, you better have some strong knees. You better do some squats.
Ooh, man. That take it out of you. I used to go up there when I lived in Colorado and skiing. And I was worn out for about 2 or 3 days.
Oh yeah.
Down. And I didn't go down. I didn't go down the big hills. Oh, you going to X Games?
He big time.
Oh yeah, player.
I hear you.
But back to some of the things. Tennessee, like we said, got Brian Callahan today. The LA Chargers got Jim Harbaugh. Brian Callahan, his dad is a longtime offensive line coach in the NFL, and he was a head coach.
He got some football savvy.
Yeah. So all we got is Atlanta. Where else?
Carolina.
Tennessee. No, Tennessee's got Brian Callahan.
That's right. That's right.
Atlanta,
Seattle. Washington.
So we got a couple of teams that there, and they.
I think Atlanta gonna sign Bill Belichick.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, and I'll tell you why. Is that they said that he didn't want to. He has something that went on with Rich McKay, who is the GM for there. So yeah.
Yeah. I've been talking to all these Cowboys.
Dang, Jack. Jack, why are people so mean to you? Jack, you are one of the best guys I know.
Jack need a haircut.
We need to get in. We got a participation. Where's it at? I got a participation trophy for you, Jack, because you're such a good guy.
Well, Jack definitely had better record than all you and Matt on picking the team.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Y'all can say all you want to talk about Jack, but Jack moved to
Well,
Florida.
you know what that proves? It proves
Jack,
a blind squirrel can find a nut too.
I'm trying to see if I can make a rhyme up. Jack done moved to Florida, meaning that he's much, much smarter.
Whoa. What's this big time commercial you got?
Yeah. I'm doing a deal this weekend with the furniture store. We gonna
in Weatherford.
Yeah, down in Weatherford. Yeah. I don't even know.
You did a commercial for him?
We just did a little promo. It's not a commercial, it's promo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The Hall of Participation trophy?
Yeah.
That's pretty important. That's pretty important.
Jack he's already in the boxing hall.
So Jack, so Jim, tell me this. What is your Super Bowl schedule look like? I need to find out. What?
It depends on what parties are. I like to go to the parties. I don't like to go to the Super Bowl.
Okay. That would be good to get Jack and Mac out there and get them on Media Row.
Oh, that would be good. Aaron Rodgers was taking the Jets defense to school at practice sessions the last week of the season. Come on, Jack. It's practice.
Jack, you know what? This is what I remember about Jack. He was so gung-ho about the Jets. And then after the 8th game of the season, it seemed like the air just went completely out of him.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
That's something.
Jack. Yeah, it did go out of Jack. Yeah, Rick is scared of Vikings. They're not gonna lose Kirk Cousins. They're not.
But you know what? The Vikings at the bottom of that conference, NFC North now.
Not for long.
You got Detroit, Vikings, Chicago, and then the Vikings.
Yeah, I'm like TD. I like the parties. The parties are great. And in the NFL, I mean, whoa. What are we talking about? Lace and leather.
I ain't never heard of that. That's out of my league.
Shoot. I got a girlfriend, TD. She ain't gonna let me go to those lace and leather parties. Shoot. I don't know what you told. You almost had me on that too.
Who was that girl?
Miss Juanita. Miss Juanita said, no, that ain't happening. And I agree with her.
Yeah, I thought I saw you getting whooped.
I am whooped.
That's right. That's what I know.
Ooh, yeah. Oh, I don't think she want to go to lace and leather parties.
No.
You don't know.
I really enjoyed you and her coming down to Texarkana at the home football.
$3,000 a ticket? Shit. You can keep that lace and don't think about that leather.
TD, you messing up. We talking football over here. You talking about some lace
football, not $3,000 lace and leather party.
$3,000. Football?
Okay, I talked to Cat last week, TD. I talked to him last week. He's in Alabama.
Oh, he's in Alabama?
Yeah. That's my guy.
Lit.
The Cat. I think the Vikings, here's why I think they're going to be good. Their defense got better. They'll draft and get, and you got to remember Justin Jefferson is going to be healthy all year probably. And they had Addison, Jordan Addison. They got to run, and their running game's not. They're gonna play. Oh, okay, TD, good. Cat needs somebody to talk to him.
But you know what? It's gonna be some surprises like it was this year. You know, the Detroit was the surprise team of the NFL this year. The Vikings
don't stink. They got their quarterback. It's just like everybody. The Giants, when they lost Daniel Jones, they weren't the same team. And then Saquon missed a couple games. They'll be better. The Giants will be better next year. So it's gonna be hard in that NFC East.
They might lose Saquon though. They might lose Saquon.
You think so?
That's what I heard. He might not go come back.
Interesting.
Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys?
Yeah, he might come to Dallas.
Yeah.
I'm just, I'm so.
How old is Saquon?
28, I think. He didn't play 6 years. 6 years.
Fran Tarkenton as their quarterback.
As
their head coach.
I am so tired of hearing the news about the Cowboys.
Me too.
I can't go nowhere without hearing the news about the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Hey, Sonya.
Sonya was she was rolling tonight.
Oh yeah.
Let me ask you this question.
Okay.
If you were 12-5 for 3 years, as opposed to 1-16, 2-15, and you don't even have a first-round draft choice, you gave it away. Which team would you rather be on?
12-5.
I would think so. Now you got to get better in the playoffs. But
what do you mean, Byron? Should we know something? No, what you mean? No. What you talking about? No, ain't nothing to know. All right, I want to answer. Hey, I'm in Dallas.
I got to get you a jersey. I got a jersey for you. I meant to tell you.
Well, let's get it over here. Let's get it.
Oh my goodness!
No,
Rick at.
Jim
I'm not mean.
Jim being mean. Jim, and mean is in cap too. So she said that loud.
Yeah,
she said it loud.
I don't know what's going on.
Why are you so mean, Jim?
I'm not mean. Darren Woodson said I was a bully. I ain't no bully. Hey, Maurice, what's up, buddy?
What's up, Mo?
Yeah. You know why I like the Giants, Maurice? We got to have somebody to beat up on. Always when you're feeling bad, we always got the Giants.
Man, the Giants going to whoop y'all this year. To me, about the 12-5, yeah.
Yeah, but just talking about.
But you know what? It's hard to win 12 games in the NFL.
Yeah, she was saying that we only on the show before that we only beat teams that had losing records.
Yeah, the Giants was the first one.
Philly had a winning record.
The Giants, the Redskins.
Yeah, that's true.
But y'all didn't beat Arizona Cardinals.
No, we did not. No, y'all didn't beat them either, did you?
And then Washington Commanders didn't beat them either. So.
They beat the NFC East like stepchildren.
I think
the Giants did beat them.
I know they did beat them. I was gonna say they probably want to get in the NFC East.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers took his whole team. I mean, the offensive line to Las Vegas.
Oh man, that's pretty good.
He got a mushroom farm out there. He was going to let him try his new mushrooms.
Shit, they're gonna have to go sleep in the dark after that.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to be invited to the show, Jim?
Yeah. Well,
who the producer? Me? Who the producer? Who's the producer? Me or you? I want to know.
Neither one.
He said the J&B. You invited.
Yeah. I'm not the producer. I'm just paid a paid member of this shoot. I can't invite people.
I did say Jim was in charge.
Well,
all I'm running over here is the lights. I'm running the lights.
Yeah. I run my house with nobody.
See the light? I'm running the light. That's all I run. The lights.
I run my house with nobody else is in it. That's about all. Ooh. going to be
making that statement? That's Matt.
sports. Max Sports.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But let's get on to keep talking about it. Oh, you did, Byron. Doing divas.
Showed
Wow,
it.
divas.
I showed it.
You were on the show yesterday and said you run the show.
No, we was on the show. I brought Cole on the show with me last night.
You did?
Yeah, they had 3 women on the show. We just wanted.
You had to have some protection, huh?
Yeah, we had to bring some football. You know, he's a fantasy football guy, so I wanted them to meet somebody.
Oh, okay.
Always talking about fantasy.
Oh, shoot.
You know, so that's what we did.
Yeah.
We just did a lot of laughing. We were laughing and joking and everything else. So it was a good show.
So we could talk about the games. Who's gonna win between let's talk about football.
Thank you, Sonny. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we do appreciate you.
What we're going to talk about?
We're going to talk about the Baltimore Ravens against the Kansas City Chiefs. We can get in depth about it.
Okay. Now, you always want to look at what the weather going to be like. Okay. The weather, I think, it's going to be 44 degrees. Should be a good football day. Should be a good football day. And then the second thing you want to look at is the coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Jason said in Kansas City. Jason, you are absolutely wrong. Okay. I'm gonna explain why. Okay, you look at the coaches. Then you look at the quarterbacks. Right? Quarterbacks.
Go ahead. And the weather is going to be on.
Huh? What's going to be what?
75% chance of rain with the high of 44.
Okay, I know it's going to be 44.
Go ahead.
Rain will be good. So it's going to be a real good game in the first half. But the second half, Baltimore going to go ahead and take it on to the house. That's my opinion.
I thought you were going for Kansas City.
No, I went with Kansas City last week.
Okay.
I'm going.
I think Baltimore's defense is going to win this game. They will not stop Mahomes, but they'll control Mahomes.
I just think, too, you have to always get a home team 2 to 3 points.
Mm-hmm.
Mahomes needs to control the clock.
Yeah.
But, you know, I just and keep Lamar off the field. I agree with that. I agree with that statement. But I do think sometimes you just feel like some players are destined this year, and Lamar Jackson he's on a warpath to be destined this year.
You know, and I always think about that Lamar when he was the last one in the green room with his head down with his mother.
Yeah.
And then he wins the MVP. What is he won it twice?
No, this will be his second time. If he win it this year.
Jason does have a point. The NFL would love to have Taylor Swift because someday she's gonna be doing the halftime show.
They might want her to be going to the Super Bowl, but I don't think they're gonna beat Baltimore.
It'd be hard to beat them. It'd be hard to beat them.
That would be ideal.
Baltimore's gonna win, but you never count Mahomes out.
You can't count them out. That's why I told you last week that they were gonna beat Buffalo. I just felt like they were.
You did say that, and I thought Buffalo at home was gonna win.
Yeah,
I thought they had the advantage, but I'm gonna go with Baltimore on this one.
I'm going with Baltimore too. I just think what I've seen the way they play in the second half, I think that's gonna be the difference. They are dogs. You're right. You're absolutely right, Maurice. They are dogs.
Mm-hmm. Yes, they are. And they got the two of arguably the best linebackers in the league, and obviously Raquan Smith and Patrick Queens.
Yeah.
Those guys are really good. And then the next, I think, and like I said, I think that, like you, I think Lamar Jackson is destined. The Browns lost to Houston.
They lost to the Texans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But with Baltimore, they got in every position, they got Pro Bowl players and they got players.
And you know what else gonna happen, Jim?
What's that?
Odell Beckham. He gonna play good this next game, and then he gonna play good at the Super Bowl. Watch what I tell you. He gonna make a couple big plays.
You think so?
Yeah, he always do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, this is interesting. In Santa Clara for the the 49ers and Detroit game is going to be, the high is going to be 65. Or now, I'm sorry, the high will be 71.
Perfect.
52. So it's perfect weather.
Perfect weather.
I think San Francisco is going to win it, but it wouldn't shock me if Detroit won it. Detroit's a different team. They're a little bit old school.
They blue collar. So I'm thinking that it's gonna be a 4-quarter battle.
Yeah.
That game. I
do too. I think so too. I like Golf, and Golf is from there. Did you know that he's from the?
He Cal. Yeah, he grew up in that area.
He grew up on the
Moraine. You know the reason why I'm gonna get Detroit the edge?
Huh?
Yeah. You know the reason why I'm getting Detroit the edge?
Why?
Because Goff know how hard it was to get back to the Super Bowl. He ain't gonna let this slip like he did with the Rams.
Yeah, and here's the crazy thing. Did you realize that San Francisco hasn't won a Super Bowl since the 90s?
Yeah.
They've been in the Super Bowl because the Harbaugh brothers played against each other when Baltimore and San Francisco played, but they hadn't won a Super Bowl since the 90s.
Absolutely. And Maurice, I agree with that. If they don't get no pressure on Goff, ain't no way they can beat them. Ain't no way they're going to beat Detroit. Yeah.
I tell you what, I watched the game last week, and I didn't think Chase Young played very well. What did you think?
No, he didn't. Yeah. He just happened to be over there.
Yeah.
And you know, he probably been one of the premier defensive rush ends coming out of Ohio State.
Yeah. And he didn't. And then they were doing something that's been around forever. It's called the pin and pull. And they didn't have an answer for that. San Francisco, they didn't play that very well. And Detroit runs the pin and pulls too. And you know they're gonna run them at Chase Young.
And you know what else though, Jim? The first week he went to San Francisco, he looked like a superstar.
Yeah.
He hadn't done nothing since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would agree. I would agree with that. But you know, is he
Debo going to play? Okay.
Yeah, Debo might not play. He got some shoulder. It's not fractured.
You know what? If
he hasn't been practicing.
If Belichick was over there on that defensive side, he said, "Let's go hit Debo in the shoulder right now. Hit Debo in the shoulder." I mean, you got to get him out the game.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hide nothing. You just got to go at it.
Yeah. So I agree with you on that. This is going to be a good game because the same thing you talk about with Baltimore, also the San Francisco has two really good linebackers in Warner and Greenlaw.
Yeah, Greenlaw had
And I think Detroit's DBs are a little better than San Francisco's, but San Francisco will beat you up, and they're going to force you to have to make plays in tight coverage. And can Goff do that?
And the good thing too about the games this week is the team playing at home shouldn't have no excuse in losing. Both 49ers and the Baltimore.
Yeah.
They playing at home. You're comfortable. You know, you got to be charged up. And I think, it should be a good game.
Yes, TD. Jim Harbaugh is going to the Chargers.
Yep.
I bet you that assistant that was running the team when Jim was suspended is going to probably be the head coach at Michigan.
Yeah.
I think so. He did a good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yes.
I agree with Maurice.
What did Maurice say?
He said that you have to slow down the GMEC.
Yeah. That is going to be a problem for Detroit. They're really good against the pass, but they struggle against the run.
Christian Mack ain't no joke. He is. He gonna get his. He gonna get his.
Yeah.
Yeah. Christian Mack gonna get his.
Let me ask you this question: if Detroit goes to the Super Bowl, do you make Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders honorary captains?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And you guess what? This is what I think they also need to do, just like they did Priest Holmes. When Kansas City won a Super Bowl, they gave the ambassador a Super Bowl ring. So Priest Holmes have a Kansas City Super Bowl ring. And I think they should do the same thing for Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders.
Yeah, I agree. When we went to the Super Bowl, because it hadn't been in so long, the last Super Bowl winner was Roger Staubach as quarterback, and he was out there at the coin toss with us.
Yeah, and I think that's good, especially if you have either football legends or football ambassadors, whatever you want to call them. You know,
I agree,
because they have helped build the image of the teams, and they golden jackets. They Hall of Famers.
Mm-hmm.
Why not?
And I agree, Sanders and Johnson do deserve it.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been through there. Because if the 49ers go, they're going to have guys like Jerry Rice, Ronnie Lott, and they're going to have Joe Montana probably.
They're going to be there on the field.
Exactly. But they'll probably have them at one or two of them at the coin toss.
Absolutely.
Or maybe all three.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Hey, you know what I'm going to recommend for the Dallas Cowboys?
What?
Always bring back Jerry Jones when you need a win. It's Jimmy Johnson. I always bring back Jimmy Johnson when you need.
Yeah, they should have inducted him during the playoff game
against Green Bay.
Yeah.
But hey, you talking about a halftime speech? He would have gave it.
Yeah. Jimmy would have gave it. But it's kind of funny because when we were playing, we were losing to Buffalo at the half. And he didn't give that, so he just left us alone. And then at the end of the halftime, he said, "Hey, okay, let's go win this game." That's all he did.
Yeah.
They're bringing the DB from the Packers to call.
So let me ask you a question, Jim.
Yeah.
Is the producer of this show, is he going to get us the media row? Oh, man, that's Ryan. I didn't know I had some couple of rhymes in me tonight. You hear me what I said? The producer of this show, J&B show, gonna get us some passes for the NFL.
That is a good question. Is he gonna get us on Media Row?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Row and show, baby. We go together.
They ask you some interesting questions on media. I'm not gonna ask. I'm just gonna ask.
Mac, what you gonna say about that? Since you want to talk about something else he was talking about earlier. I don't forget what he's talking about.
He went to sleep. Him and Jack took naps.
Anyway, we need to get that media row hidden. So, Jim, you don't know what your schedule gonna be like yet?
No, I don't know what it's gonna be. Yeah.
All right, we'll get it done. We'll get it done.
All of a sudden, it's our show now. All of a sudden, it's our show. And now we get it done.
Jim, I'm gonna call my guy and get our badges printed up with our pretty pictures on there. Yeah. You want a suit on, or what? Or you want what you want on? Now you want a suit?
Right. Oh, took the network, and then he's gonna want us to wear, Northeast Streaming sports production on our shirt.
So Jim, the Final Four, man, the Final Four. That's what's gonna be what it come down to.
Yeah, it is. And
you're a top fan. Oh yeah, Rick.
Yeah.
Rick the Ruler. Hey, I'm gonna start calling him Rick the Ruler.
Rick the Ruler. Jason said it's a boys trip, so he said he'd be there. Jason already told me I'm in.
Yeah.
Jason he's like one of them. He wears that little suit. He's a lounge lizard and junk. He be slithering around and junk,
Oh yeah.
giving him the peace sign.
Oh yeah. He's sweet.
And
Good. It's really good.
Rick will be there. Rick will be hanging out.
So Jim, you and I predicting the same teams.
Yeah, we are.
So we're saying that the Super Bowl is going to be Baltimore and Detroit.
No, Baltimore and San Francisco, 49ers.
I think Detroit going to be there.
You think Detroit's going to beat San Francisco in San Francisco?
Yeah.
Wow.
You know why?
Why?
Because they play good on the road.
Wow.
Detroit play good on the road.
Do they?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
They beat Dallas right here.
Oh, they didn't.
I was looking at the game. They beat Dallas.
No, they didn't.
The referees cheated.
They cheated for them because they called. Remember when they called that tripping penalty? That was on Detroit. It should have never got there.
But I'm telling you, when the guy came and reported in, and the referee just said, "I didn't hear him." You know the guy reported in. He do it every game.
Here we go.
When they have their big boys in there, they go straight to the head referee and report in.
Here we go.
No, I know. Here we go. These are facts.
Here we go. Sounds like a disgruntled Giants fan.
So, but Jim, do you don't think this is not
like a disgruntled Giants fan?
It would not happen in San Francisco. That would not happen. That play would not happen. I'm telling you.
But the play should have never been. They could have, if they would have called the penalty correctly on the tripping penalty, then it would have never got to that because the Cowboys would have nailed and the game would have been over.
Everyone had one. Excuses.
I didn't make an excuse. I'm just telling you.
I'm telling you.
Just made an excuse.
I'm telling you. That's why I'm thinking Detroit gonna pull this out.
We'll see. You just want Dan to win because he was an ex-Giant, but he was an ex-Cowboy too.
Yeah, that's true. That is so true.
And he's from Glen Rose.
Glen Rose, baby.
Yeah.
He was number. You know what? He was number 87.
Yeah.
He was a tight end.
Yeah, he's a big joker too.
Yeah.
He's about 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah, he's up there.
Yeah.
He's in the trees.
Yeah. But Aaron Glenn was a Cowboy too. Did you know that?
Aaron Glenn? I didn't know Aaron Glenn was a Cowboy.
I don't know how long he was here, but it was after I left. But he was a
But you know what? He looked like a head coach. Yeah. He might get a head coaching job.
I don't think he'll get one this year. It'll probably be next year.
I'm thinking they holding off on a couple of these championship teams that's in the division championship.
You think so?
They're holding off on a couple of them. Yeah, I think they want to interview these guys, and I think they're gonna take a serious look at Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn.
So would it have to be Atlanta, Seattle,
Washington,
or what the Chargers have theirs and Tennessee has theirs. So
yeah,
Carolina.
I don't think nobody want to go to Carolina, but it's a job.
Yeah, that is true.
I think Carolina, if they get the right coach in there, I think they really went that far off.
Well, like I like Bryce Young, but if you remember, a couple of years ago, everybody was saying that the Texans were a train wreck. So you make a good point. If you get the right coach in Carolina, they could get good pretty quick. Yeah. The problem is they don't have a first-round pick, and they would have had the first pick in the draft.
Yeah.
And they could have got somebody like Marvin Harrison.
Yeah. But, those coaches that was filling in on the Houston team, Houston was almost in almost all their games. They were losing games by 3 points and stuff. Romeo Crennel, he was there.
Cully and Lovey Smith.
Yeah, they were close.
Yeah, and then you're right, Romeo Crennel was in there too. So you're right, they were close. Yeah. But they didn't, when he came in, he's coach of the year, isn't he? DeMarco Ryan?
Yeah.
Ryan.
Yeah.
And he came in and he gave him structure. Just like Dan Campbell gave structure.
Yeah. So. And you can see what I like about the NFL now it don't take you 3 to 4 years to get the team where you want it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can make a.
You don't have 3 or 4 years anymore.
I know. That's what I was gonna say. They ain't gonna give you no 3 or 4 years no way.
I mean,
It's what have you done for me right now?
Because the ball is under the clock. Really, honestly, McCartney is under and Sirianni are under the. They're in the clock.
You can name Philadelphia, New Orleans. You can go down the list of their teams. Dallas teams are gonna be really maybe looking for a coach next year.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's sad. It's sad, but that's just the reality of today's NFL.
Yeah.
And even in college, too. It's happening in college. So that is true. That is very true.
We need to be some football analysts on what you're looking for in a coach.
Yep, I agree. Yeah. We're not looking for a coach like Jack, though.
No, Jack won't. He talking about
Jack will be talking about we're hitting too hard and that we need to use our hands to do the 2-hand touch.
Yeah, he
everybody should get a participation trophy.
Mac could come up with a football that you have to have one touch on the hip or something like that. Don't pull the flag, but you can just touch the hip.
Oh man. So we can, we need to keep those two out of it if we become They're getting on Romo because he was terrible that Kansas City Buffalo one.
Well, Romo and them got the Super Bowl too. They're gonna be on the Super Bowl.
Mm.
They're commentating the Super Bowl on CBS.
Mm.
And being a ex-football player, you can't be critical of football players. You really can't. That's not what you need to do.
It's hard, but you have to be fair.
Yeah.
Because if somebody messes up, you got to, you got to do it. That's the hard part. It's hard on this show.
You want to be critical, but you want to be very.
You want to be fair.
Professional.
But fair. But you don't want to be as much as critical.
Yeah,
you always do, Rick.
I had
a football.
Rick, it's funny that you said that because the receiver coach that coached us with the Giants, the receiver coach, his name is Pat Hodges. He still called me to this day and really say that Byron, he just, even Phil McConkey, those guys are calling me and talk about the skill set that I had, blah blah blah. But that's confirmation that things happen in football. You just have to continue to go to the next day, go to the next chapter.
Sometimes you got to overcome that, Rick, and you know it from playing football. Yeah. So you're gonna have bad coaches. You're gonna have great coaches. Shoot, some people might have said I wasn't good. Yeah, I was a part-time player, but I was still getting paid. And I made plays when I went in.
And you have over 100 sacks, huh, Jim?
That's right.
Yeah.
So haters gonna hate.
Well, you got to be able to take criticism with being tough.
It doesn't bother me.
Being the boss, you got to be able to.
When I leave the show and go to sleep, I'm gonna be it. Hey T, you have a good week too.
I would tell Rose. I ain't gonna give him no big kiss, but I just tell him. Roosevelt. They call him Rose.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Shoot, they were paying me to rush quarterbacks, and I gladly did it in Buffalo. I shuffled off to Buffalo. Buffalo paid the bills. I had no problem with that.
Yeah. It was a good show, Jim.
Yeah, it was a good show. It was a very
division, NFC, AFC division championship.
With Rick and Jason, it's great having there. Then we had some other people from the Peanut Gallery. TD is great. That other guy.
Maurice Powell. Thank you, bro.
Maurice, they were great. Now the Mac Sports and Jack Hirsch, those two, we could do without them too. But it was
They
a great show. But we could waddle. Can't we waddle?
Wallace